So welcome, we are on the second part of texturing the chimpanzee. So now we have added the base colors and defined that which area should be light. Now I'm going to add some more details. So I have found some more references and that I'm going to import it here. So I found this reference, one more reference I have imported. This one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to project the image details onto the model itself. So I think this will also help. And one last is this one. Now I will just put it here, and first press Z and delete the selected image. So I will click on here, then I will click on the texture and click and press add to the spotlight. So now you can see I have added this information, and I can just change the opacity. I just want to reduce it so that I can actually see and align the chimpanzee to match. I think we just need to move it a bit, reduce the size, and I think this should be better way. Okay, now you can see what I'm going to do. I will project this texture. So press Z, so it will not hide the image, and now when you start adding the detail, you will start painting the texture also. So to see that whether this is working, press Shift Z and you will know. Press Shift Z again and then keep adding the details. Select the specific tool. Now you can see I am just adding the details, and this is getting projected on my model here. Alright, so make sure you do it. I think this looks a bit quite intense. I'll just reduce the RGB intensity to 50, and then we'll add a bit information. Okay, and we are getting the result what we are looking for. Then press Z again to control it and to move it accordingly. As you can see, I want to add these spots on the nose. So I will roughly put it and start adding roughly the details, and we'll be very careful about that. This will get me a realistic texture. Also, this will give me an idea that how actually I can approach, like to get the right color palette. This chimpanzee has the better color palette, so I'm going to pick this base color and we'll start painting the detail here. Alright, so like some details here, adding the actually adding some pink color that actually add the tints. And this should help. Here I will do the same, will increase the intensity. Alright, press Z to just see how this is working. Okay, now I will take the reference for the ear. So I will reduce the opacity and then want to align it, and then we'll put the textures here. And you can see I'm getting the better results. I'm just defining these details. One more thing I just learned, that we can actually improve this information. So I will just resample the color and we'll click on spray, color spray, and then we'll select alpha 23. So now I'm going to manually add these colors to extend the look. I think I need to just make it more darker, more on the brighter side. Now this should work. Now you can see I can extend the texture, and I will use the same techniques here also. Right, I think need a more darker color. I think that should be good. And on the other side I will just mix it with some random color. So what it will do, it will just create a texture. So the skin will look more realistic, more porous. Here I will repeat the same thing. So I'm adding this detail to make it more organic and get it more realistic texture around. So that's why all these steps actually to ensure the skin pigmentation texture remains on the natural order. So I'm see just like I'm adding the details. This is not a flat color. Right now this looks like I have just added the flat color, and I just don't want to make it look like the way it is. So now even this has some imperfections, some pigmentations. This will continue to go even behind. As you can see, this is creating a very good texture, and this gives the feel of okay, there is a skin that has multiple levels of detailing. You can just see how the pigmentation is changing, the graininess. Okay, I think let's select some other alphas for the mouth area. How will this work? Let me check. I'm just going to give it a try. Does it work? Now I'm breaking the symmetry, so I don't want to repeat it. And I will also reduce the RGB intensity to 40. So basically I am just trying to get some imperfection all across. And I'm going to reduce the RGB intensity again, and will add these imperfections here and there. So the reason why I'm adding these details across, so because skin color is not constant again, so I'm just adding the spots. This will add some random spots, random colors. Now I will switch back to the original alpha 23. This time I will select alpha 07. This is more softer, and will increase the RGB intensity this time. We'll try to just match up, like merge, so that these spots looks naturally fitting to the place where they have been kept. And then let me switch the color again, and I can add some details. I can lighten up some areas that have become very light. So the area that has become darker, I'm just going to add these details, and this time I'm not using symmetry, I'm just randomizing it. And I think our texturing part is done. The last remaining thing is that I'm going to add the details into the eye. So we'll switch back to the alpha, and if I notice the eyes have very dark pigmentation, so I'm going to, it looks like I have made my eyes a bit more lighter. I'll take another reference for this. I want to delete this, go to the texture and find another image that can actually fit the requirement. I think this should be a very good example. So I inserted this image into the spotlight, and then I will simply increase the size. So this time I'm not going to project the complete detail. The reason is there are reflections and shadows, so I'm trying to pick the base color here and modify this color. So I'm going to modify it, making a bit more reddish. Then there is another color that is darker, so I will make it a bit more darker side, and let's focus on that. First, I will fill the whole image with the dark color. Color, fill object. RGB intensity 100%. Right. So now I have added the color. So I'm just reducing. So I'm turning on the symmetry and the transparency mode. This is a ghost transparency. So if you turn this off, this will look like this, and if you turn this on, so it will turn into ghost transparency. So you can just play with that. Okay. Now I will focus on this color. And then we'll adjust the color with a bit lighter. Again this time I'll select a bit dark color, and this time I will put this dark color around the pupil I am making. So I'm just going to hide this. So now actually I can get an idea that how does it look like. I'm just checking that eye pupil should be more on the center side. So saving file. So any eyes actually consist many parts. So this center part is pupil, and that black dot is the place from where the light enters into the eyeball and then make an image. So that is the reason that specific part is always black, so that it can absorb maximum light. You can see I will just adjust it. Now it's time to add the pupil. So I'm going to select a circle. Now I want to make a very hard edge alpha, so I've selected this alpha. This time I will click on drag react and will drag it, and that should be good. Okay, I think eyes positioning is a bit problem. Let me turn on the eyes, and you can see the direction of light is the eyes ball's direction is not correct. So I'm going to select them and will rotate along the axis so that look clear, and then we'll adjust the eyeball's position accordingly. Okay, all right. We'll move them a bit inside. Transparency will be active. And now we actually notice that we need to push this information a bit inside. Let me first bring the eyeballs on the front side. So we'll change this also. Let's first fix the eyes. So I just smooth it, and now I think we are pretty much done with this. Now I need to adjust the eye section. So basically I will push this area a bit forward and will push behind, so eyes will look leveled. Turn off the RGB mode. I am going to low poly. And so that is the advantage. So basically you can make changes, you can adjust it, modify it how you want to, change it at any stage when you have multiple subdivision levels. That is the reason after a certain time, like you define your shape and the final details, it's always advisable that you create the treat topology and then work on the final details. If it was in Dynamesh and very high polymesh, it could be a lot challenging to modify it, but right now this is very easy to manage. I think he should be looking towards the camera, and I'm going to fix that thing. So he's looking a bit up. I'm just making it to look towards you. Okay, so some places I'm just adjusting it manually, doing manual adjusting. Are we good? Yeah, I think so. We are good. Let's check on the high resolution. And the eyes look quite good, quite okay to me. Let me move the eyeballs a bit inside. Let me see. Okay, I think this is the final way, so I'm liking this. How does it look like? So now our poly painting has been done. I'm going to just save the file in the specific folder. We'll name it Chimpanzee textured. And that's all for this episode. So this video, we are done with the texturing, and we will add some hairs in next video, and then we'll start working on the rendering part. Alright, so we'll see you in the next video.